Shadow Spice.
Well, congrats on the win. You guys had to fight really hard. Is that something you expected on an emotional day like that?
Yeah, fully expected that. If you look at West Coast results this year at this ground, they've beaten Melbourne, they've beaten Fremantle, pushed Essendon, pushed St Kilda. So we were fully expecting that. And there's always an emotional response in a sacked coach game, so to speak. I think that's the third one I've been involved in with the Brisbane Lions. We played Carlton after they sacked a coach and they beat us, and then I think we played the Gold Coast and we won that game. So it was good to get away with the points. I thought it was a relatively professional performance in a fairly hostile environment when the opposition had a lot to play for.
You were so dominant in this battle up until three-quarter time. You probably didn't get the rewards. How did you assess that situation?
Yeah, that's a very fair call. It was a massive differential. And you'd like to score a little bit more from those situations than we did. But still, at the end of the day, that's why we won the game, because we won so much territory from stoppage. They're always going to have a good quarter. It just happened to be the last, and they got a lot of centre bounce clearances and were able to score from those. So we'll have a bit of a look at what happened there. But overall, from a clearance perspective, it was a good performance by us. I thought Oscar McInerney played a great game in the ruck, and I thought Lachie Neale and Josh Dunkley were excellent at ground level.
Was there anything you learnt from the Carlton and Gold Coast experience about how to manage, I guess, an emotional opponent and come out on top? Oh,
you just know that you've got no control over that, so you've got to just focus in on your own group and what you want to do. So that's what we did. Fortunately, we had Jared Berry's 150th today, which was a bit of a motivator for the group. He's a very important person in our club. In terms of the brotherhood that he brings, since he arrived at the club, he's that sort of guy. He runs the pre-season program before we start pre-season, and he's been doing that for years. If there's a gathering of the boys, it's usually at his house. If someone needs a bed, Bez will provide you one. So it was pretty motivated for him today, to be honest.
So from the beginning of the season, when the results weren't coming, you kept saying it's a long season. You've now won 6 in a row and you're in the form. So that's just justification of sticking the course and keeping with what you want to do.
Yeah, it's been amazing that we're actually in the top 4, aren't we? Yeah. I reckon that just tells you that if we lose next week, we could probably go down to 8th. It's pretty tight. No, look, the thing was that the numbers, I always look at the statistics and go, what's happening here? And the bottom line was early in the year, our problem was not getting the ball inside 50. It was what was happening when it was getting in there. We're either missing or we're dropping marks or giving away free kicks. So we just had to improve our performance inside 50 and keep everything else going. And I guess my job as the coach, and it's the job of all coaches, I think, is to keep painting a clear picture and stay calm. Easier said than done, because everybody was honest and saying things weren't going well, but I had confidence in the group. We've still got a long way to go. We're not giving ourselves a pat on the back right now, but what we've done over the last, I think we've won 8 of our last 10 games, haven't we, and had a draw. So we've put ourselves back in the picture. We've given ourselves an opportunity. That's all we've done. We've got a lot of hard games coming up, starting next week with the Sydney Swans, who are, a long way the best team in the competition at the moment. So we're looking forward to that challenge, but know that we've got to have to keep our heads down for the rest of the year to try and make finals.
Last 3 on the road, you've reached triple figures. How important is that on the road to be able to hit the scoreboard as consistently as that?
Oh, I guess it's important. I've never thought about it like that. I just look at the W or the L. And so, look, we're a team that can score. We've got a lot of options up forward. That's always been one of our strengths. And, if we can have more inside 50s than our opposition, most times we win. So that's what we aim to do, and try to give those guys the opportunity to show all the talents that they have. So it was an even effort in the forward line today. I think a lot of guys hit the scoreboard. Nobody really dominated, but it was just enough for us to get over the line.
Guy Lohmann kicked a couple of important goals in that fourth quarter. How did you think how important do you think he was in settling the team?
Yeah, he showed a lot of composure. Some of those marks that he took were quite outstanding. I mean, he's a really talented player, Kai, who's progressively across the course of the last 3 years learned to work hard and work on other aspects of his forward line craft other than being able to jump up and take a great high mark. You know, his crumbing's improved, his pressure's improved. You know, he's an exciting player and he's got a bright future as long as he keeps working away at his game like he has been.
Are you slightly concerned with the tackle from Charlie Cameron on Liam Duggan?
Well, look, I haven't seen it, so it's really hard for me to comment. But what I do know is that most AFL games I've been to where a tackle is laid that the crowd don't like, they let the guy that did it know, and the opposition players the same. I mean, nobody remonstrated, so I haven't seen it, and I don't know what, because they usually pile in, don't they? The opposition players or the West Coast players in this instance would probably remonstrate with Charlie, but nobody did that. So I find that probably a positive indicator, but I haven't seen it, so I can't really say.
What about the fact that the opponent got concussed?
Yeah. Oh, it shouldn't though, because sometimes there are accidents, and there's guys that get concussed in this game that the player that was participated in the incident doesn't get reported. I mean, it's not a given. I'd be sad if our game comes to that. I mean, accidents happen. I don't know whether it was an accident or not, so we'll have to wait and see.
You touched on Neil earlier. Can you just expand on how good his game was today?
Oh yeah, look, he was just everywhere, wasn't he? Working really hard at all the stoppages. He kicks the goal that seals the game. Got that one from the angle when we needed it in the third quarter. I mean, he's just such a great footballer, and he had some big moments today. And for the captain to be able to do that, it's really important. He's a driven guy. He wants our team to do well, and you know, he made sure we got over the line today, along with a few of his teammates. It wasn't just Lockie, but he played a great game.
Chris, do you feel like you belong in that top four? Your form, you know, it's really great now, but it wasn't so much earlier in the season. Do you feel like you can really match it with that top 10?
Well, our form's been great for 10 weeks? That's a pretty good period of time. And I'm probably better than anyone else's in that time. So it would suggest that we have the ability to be in the top four and to challenge. That's all it does, though. And that's all you can do, is just keep trying to go out and win each time that you play. So it's a good streak that we're on. When we play our best footy, I've always believed that we can beat anyone, but having the ability to do that week in, week out is the challenge.
Last quarter give you something to think about for next week. I think they had 14 inside entries, 32
Yeah.
three-quarter time. Is there a bit there to look at?
Yeah, we'll look at that. There were too many goals scored from our forward half, so we'll have a bit of a look at that, no doubt. I thought we did pretty well up until then, but it seems that every now and then we have a quarter like that. We've just got to stamp it out of our game.
The big send-off for Adam today pre-game. Did you share a moment with a former colleague?
Yeah, I saw him. I walked out before the game, just shook his hand and said I hoped he was all right. Like, I've known him for a long time, worked with him at Hawthorn. He's done a super job for this football club. All good things come to an end, I suppose. The same thing will happen to me one day. We all know that us coaches. I'm just hoping I can work it out before someone gets me. But no, look, he's been super, and you could tell by the crowd reaction today how much he's loved, and I hope he felt that. And I hope it's funny how we go with coaches, because we all end up getting the sack probably at some stage, don't we? Not many of us walk away. We celebrate like 200 game milestones with players, and when their career's over, we talk about what a great effort it was. Why don't we do that for coaches as well? You know, he's a 200 plus game coach. That's hard to do in this competition, and that's what we should be celebrating, because I know how hard it is to do that, and I have massive respect for him, and I hope he's not lost to football. I hope he he bobs up somewhere else, in whatever role, because he's got a lot to offer.
Just looking ahead to next week, is that the ultimate fitness test for you guys?
Oh, it's the best test you can get in football at the moment, is to come up against the Sydney Swans, who are, you know, a long way ahead of the rest of us. We're all back in the pack, so we'll look forward to that challenge back home at the Gabba. And we usually have good battles with Sydney, so we'll just see how we go. It'll tell us where we're at.
Do you expect you'll have Brandon Starcevich back for that one?
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. Obviously, he's got to get through all the protocols. He was sort of training later in the week, so I suspect he will be, but you never quite know with these things. But yeah, it will be good to have him back in the team. Thanks, guys. Good to see you all.
Thanks, Chris.